Hi, Cooper Clever 1972 back with another video. I see on my YouTube account that it was 3 days ago that I put up a video. That particular video, I don't know if I put it up. I think I put it up like a day or two after I recorded it. Maybe I'm not, maybe not. I think so though. Anyways, I'm back, and I know I said that the next video would be Seinfeld, the complete series, but I might save that till the end. But anyways, we're working on, we're getting there. We're doing what, if we don't get Seinfeld now, we'll get him at the very end or whatever. But anyways, so before I tackle the boxes, I said I'd tackle the bookcases and the towers. So I'm gonna take the bookcases first. There's not really, I did cover most of this bookcase that you saw. You'll see a tour of my collection after the whole collection has been shown. But this particular bookcase, I've showed you most of the DVDs and Blu-rays on it. It's just that there's a little runoff, and I was moving stuff around, so I didn't manage to show these yet. And then there's a bookcase. There's three bookcases. There's one in between the two bookcases, and I haven't shown some films in that bookcase as well, so I'll be showing that too. I'll be showing that probably right after I show all the ones in the bookcase that I showed most of the stuff of. So anyways, enough talk. Let's get to the video. This is and by the way, this is all except for the Seinfeld series. Now it's going to be kind of random. It's not going to be joined by director or subject matter or country or anything like that, or even DVD or Blu-ray. It's just going to be a hodgepodge, an assortment, a potpourri or whatever of different videos, different movies. First off, we got Primer, which is kind of in a bad condition, but I bought it used off of Amazon. And the reason why I bought it is a film that's made for $7,000. It's got a commentary on it, two commentaries. It doesn't have many special features, but it's kind of an interesting film. It's about these two guys, the filmmakers, I guess to save some money. The filmmakers that made it, cast themselves in some of the roles so they could save some money. But it's about time travel, and it's kind of interesting how that plays itself out in this film. And if you want to see a film that's made for $7,000, I showed you Eraserhead. That was a film that was made for more, but still made a movie made for money very cheaply. And I showed you El Mariachi, I believe, and that was made for around $7,000, like this one. So that's Primer. This one is one of the few tins I have. One of the other tins is my Dario Argento that I showed you, but this is my tin of RoboCop. I bought this because Roger Ebert, I guess he was sick. He was undergoing surgery. So Richard Roeper had a guest critic on, and it was a journalist. And his movie pick of the week was this RoboCop, this particular version. And it's got two different versions of the movie: the theatrical release and the extended version. Let me show you the DVDs are pretty cool. And I haven't seen the new one with Michael Keaton. Here's number one with the visor down, and then here's what he looks like inside. Peter Weller. And I hear that Peter Weller found this film to be one of his best films that he ever made. I think that's what he says in the special features. One of the films he's most proud of making. So, anyways, I'll show you the inside, which is pretty cool. So you got the Ed 209 and RoboCop there. And the extended version of RoboCop is more graphic, violently. Just not really sexual graphics, but but violent. And it's kind of funny too. Some of the stuff, like some of the commercials, like even though they're like a board game Nukem, a dinosaur, not like a Godzilla kind of creature, advertising a car, Yamaha fake artificial hearts, and but besides that, it's a good movie. It's got a good story, how he became what he became, and what happened to his family, and how the villain is treated. I highly recommend this movie. It's a great movie, great science fiction film. Part man, part machine, all cop. And it's kind of, when he does some other, besides going after Clarence Boddicker, the main villain and his gang, the other criminals that he encounters on his beat. It's funny how he, makes them. He doesn't compromise, and that they can't get in his way. So that's RoboCop. This film I haven't seen. My friend has seen it. I guess he thought it was kind of silly, or I don't know. Just maybe didn't have like much of a plot or anything. It was just going into a building and shooting. I don't know. It sounds kind of interesting to me. That's why I bought it. So it's The Raid Redemption. I bought this because of the movie theater that I saw it advertised at. It had left before I could see it at the theater, so I bought it because of that, because I wanted to watch it. And I think there's a sequel to this movie. If you know, put a comment down below. Got some featurettes and stunts, behind the music and making of an evening with Gareth Evans, Mike Shinoda, and Joe Trapanese, plus filmmaker, video blogs, director's commentary, and more. So it's got a lot of stuff on it. It's probably like a Asian action movie kind of thing. I think it was shot in Thailand. It says Jakarta slums. Is that Indonesia? I think that's where Indonesia is. So that's The Raid. This film I haven't seen, but I hear it's good. My brother might have watched this. I'm not sure. And I think the first one, the original one is supposed to be really good, but I think this one's not supposed to be bad. And I don't always like remakes, but I think it's supposed to be pretty good. And that's The Italian Job, with Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, and Edward Norton. They have Mini Coopers, I guess, that go on underneath in the sewers or whatever. It's supposed to be a pretty interesting action movie, but I don't know too much about this film. It just looked interesting from the trailers, so I decided to buy it. And some of these I buy cheap, because I got this like at maybe Best Buy or something like that, so it's fairly cheap, so it wasn't too much. This is another film. I'd say it's probably one of my favorite films of the 21st century. It's kind of simple kind of film, not much complexity to it, but I think it's kind of it's enough to warrant quite a big approval from me, and that's Chocolat, with Juliette Binoche, Johnny Depp, Judi Dench, Lena Olin, Alfred Molina. It's about this mother and daughter who open up a chocolate shop in this French town, and the town is there's a pastor who runs a local church, and the chocolate that she serves awakens people's sexual desires, and makes them passionate about being sexual. And she has the villain of the film is the Alfred Molina character, who's he's the pastor, and he just sees it as like a breakdown of the just not. He believes repression is better, like that I don't know if I sound articulate right now, but it's he believes in following a like a Christian non-sinful life, and he regards this chocolate, and what it does is like a indulgent kind of way of living, and he doesn't approve of that. But you'll see what happens at the end, which is quite something else, and just really charming movie. But it says a lot with just a little, if you know what I mean by that. By the metaphor of chocolate, like being a liberating force, might be like a drug or something like that. It's just like a liberating metaphor for people, and that's what this movie's about, I guess you could say. This is one of my favorite films of all time. This guy, George C. Scott, won an Oscar for it, but like Marlon Brando, I can't remember if Marlon Brando won for The Godfather first or George C. Scott won for this film first. But in either case, both of them wouldn't accept the Oscars for these films. This is Patton. Carl Malden stars as Omar Bradley, like a friend of Patton's. And of course, it's based on a true story. It's about is he a general? I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's a general, and he really whips these unmotivated troops into shape. This great speech he has at the start of the film before the beginning credits, which is unbelievable, and it's one of those films where you can quote the lines. Well, I don't know if I can quote most of the lines. I know most of the lines from the start of the film, like Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans love to win all the time. I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans have never lost and will never lose a war, because of the very thought of losing is hateful to Americans. Things like that. So yeah, and when he goes into Germany and he's doing like trying to get his soldiers out of tanks, out of traffic, out of the mud, he's just very motivated, and a really good score by who did the score? What's his name? Jerry Goldsmith. And also of note, before he wrote The Godfather, Francis Ford Coppola co-wrote the script for this movie. So that's Patton. So, anyways, we have some more DVDs. I guess these are all DVDs, if I'm not mistaken. When I was at the horror convention a few years ago, I met Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead. I've only seen 2 Hellraiser movies, but I got this cheap, this Hellraiser movie, and when I decided to go to this horror convention, I decided, why not take this and have it signed? So I did, and it's Doug Bradley and Hellraiser, Hellseeker. think part of it takes place in space. So, anyways, he also signed it inside, and I had a photo taken with him as well. Same time I met Gunnar Hansen from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he signed my DVD too. This one I picked up at the library where I work at. Friends of the library, they sell used DVDs and Blu-rays and new ones too. So I saw this and I thought this will be fantastic. It is a Blu-ray. It's a Japanese movie. It might be more than one. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Is it? Yeah, there's more than one. Disc 1 has Battle Royale. Disc 2, director's cut. Disc 2 is Battle Royale theatrical cut, and Battle Royale 3 or 2 Requiem, and a Disc 4 bonus DVD. So it's a Japanese movie. I guess it's what you call a digibook. I think it's pretty violent, and I think it's a popular movie in Japan. My apologies for not showing this when I showed my Japanese collection of films, but it just passed my mind, I guess you could say. I don't know much about this, but I guess it's like maybe it's like the Hunger Games. I'm not quite sure. I've never seen the Hunger Games, but I'm not into all those types of movies. Like I only watched the first Harry Potter, and I couldn't really get into it. And I never really watched. Well, no, I never watched Twilight. So I just find them. I don't know. I just can't get into them. They're not like I don't know, like a Godard movie or a Buñuel or a Fassbender or I don't know who else, Hitchcock or a Kubrick or a Scorsese kind of movie. It doesn't match up to those guys, I don't think. They're not supposed to, I don't think. And I do like fun films from time to time, but I just can't get into those movies. Maybe if I was younger, I could get into them. Maybe if I was younger, I'd like Harry Potter, but I just don't. This is a movie I picked up from the festival I help out at. I won this in a raffle, so I haven't watched this, but it's about I guess it's about a blind guy. He's a blind sportscaster, and he predicts. He can tell like where the ball goes or whatever without seeing. He can detect by sound. I think that's basically what it's about. So at some point I'll watch this. This is another film I got at the film festival. I got it in a raffle again. I saw it when it was shown at the theater. It's a kind of a fun children's family film. The Incredible Adventures of Jojo and his annoying little sister Avila. I don't know if oh no, I can't. I thought I was just going to say I thought maybe I had this sign, but that doesn't make sense because this was given on a raffle way after it was shown. So no, I don't think so. And it's about this young boy and his toddler sister being marooned in the wild because their mother crashes into a tree and then becomes unconscious, and so they gotta figure out what to do. And it's a lighthearted movie. It's not there's nothing dark to it or anything. It's kind of humorous and just a lighthearted flick. And these next two star Angelina Jolie. I just watched this recently. I've seen it in the theaters, and I just watched my actual copy of it recently. It's Salt. Really good action movie, and Angelina Jolie does most of the stunts, and they're not like special effects like green screen. She actually jumps onto moving cars, and she hangs on sides of buildings. She'll have a wire like attached to her that they'll probably, I guess they, take out in post production with special effects, but with computers. But basically, she's doing all the work. I think there is a stunt woman rather, that works for her and does some of her work, but she does a lot of the heavy lifting, if you will, the stunt work. And there's some special features on here, but not much. And there's a commentary by, I guess, the director, Philip Noyce. There's an interview with Philip Noyce, the director, with Elvis Mitchell, who's a film critic. So, and it's about she works at the CIA, and she may not be what people think she is, because Russia has planted moles in the United States government. They train them at very young age when they're children, and they sort of. And I think this might be a thing in reality too. Like, America might do that. Train moles and then ingratiate, put them into Russian society and just dig out information. It's just a way to make sure that you're keeping your back watched, so you can't be military intelligence and government intelligence isn't stolen from the other side. So it's about moles, so pretty interesting. Or a mole. It's a really great action movie, really fantastic. This film I haven't seen. I guess it's another action movie she did with James McAvoy and Morgan Freeman. I think I picked this up down there in the bookseller with the Friends of the Library. I have no idea what this is about, but at some point I'll watch it. So I guess it doesn't have any special features, but looks interesting. It has a good cast, and I'm thinking this is going to be like Salt, so, so. And of course, the other film that Angelina Jolie's in that I have is Alexander by Oliver Stone, where she does this over-the-top Eastern European kind of accent, which is, who knows what the ancient Greeks sounded like when they were alive, but I talked about that in my in a previous video, the Eastwood, Tarantino, Leone, and Stone video. You can see my information. You can see me talk about the film Alexander and the part of the video that I'm discussing Oliver Stone. So, excuse me. So that's gonna be the end of the video, because I finished that bookcase off, and I think I'm gonna do the next bookcase. I don't know if I can get these videos on tonight. It's close to midnight right now. It's like 11:32. So I'll see how things go. But you'll be seeing me. You'll be seeing me in the near future, I would say. So hang tight, and I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.